First, we'll be talking about the gear I use. We're going to start with computers, cameras, phones, lenses, all that stuff. And then we're going to move on to like watch specific stuff. So like the little weird things that you wouldn't even think about. Hey there, I'm Keanu. I started this YouTube channel because I wanted to do editing as a full-time job. If you want to check out my full collection, it'll be in a card up above. A little disclaimer to start out with, I am still very new to this. If you're looking for an expert guide, this is not it. I just started posting videos a couple months ago, and I only have 8 videos on my channel. Whoa, I just kind of stole you there. Let's go check out my old setup. This is a very not good studio light, so whoever this brand is, I'm not going to buy from you again. The bulb came broken, so I had to order it again from eBay. It was just a whole pain in the butt. But it's the only thing I have, so this would be my other part of the setup. So I'll have the light coming in this way, and then I'll have my thing set up here. And my old boom arm I used to have right here, and so it would just kind of whee. This light will come here, and you'll notice if I take the picture right here, there's a big bit of glare right here, and it just doesn't work. So what I'll do is I will turn off this light, and then I'll turn this boy on, and then the glare is not so bad. See, that's kind of aesthetic, right? You've probably seen this shot in my other videos, and I think it's my best shot that I got. You know, the lighting looks good, and you're wondering, well, why is it so shaky, right? Usually I have the boom arm right there. Did I say that earlier? I think I did. Anyways, that's usually how I keep it so stable. These are some watches I got in. This is my new setup. Focus, focus, focus. There we go. So we got the new Shure microphone, the MV7. This is the little brother to the SMB, 7B, whatever, I don't know. It's something like that. And the way I upgraded it was I got the SM7B, hopefully that's right, the little thing to put on top of it so you don't get the plosive sounds. We also got watch calipers, other watch tools. That's the window I was talking about. I'm not going to show it because there are houses with their addresses on them. I'm not trying to dox myself, but yeah. This is the window I use for my main light. And so here's what it looks like whenever I have lighting behind me. You can't even see me. Oh, now you can, but it still looks terrible. And here's what it looks like when I have that lighting on my perfect 45-degree angle. As you can see, I kind of have my setup at an angle, at a 45-degree angle. This is my hard drive that I was talking about. Oh, focus, there we go. Samsung T7. Oh my god, it's dusty. Eesh, should clean this. USB hub. This is the cord that runs underneath to my Shure microphone. Lots of SD cards. Oh my god, you need so many of these if you want to create content regularly. This is it. I just finished moving over the A-roll from the footage I just took. That's the footage you'll be watching. And yeah. So I started off with my desktop computer. It was like kind of like a gaming PC. I used to be into gaming. Originally, I just used a free software. It was called OpenShot Video Editor. It was really clunky, and definitely I recommend upgrading to either Final Cut Pro or Adobe Premiere or literally any other like paid for software, which leads me to my next software I ended up using, which was on a Mac. I upgraded to a MacBook for college. And when I bought the MacBook, I had an option of buying Final Cut Pro. It was really expensive. It was like 500 bucks. But I saw this as a long-term opportunity, as like if I would have gone for like Adobe Premiere or any other subscription-based service, it would have been like forever. I would have been paying like 16 bucks a month. Whereas this was just a one-time purchase, and it came with the laptop, so I might as well have gotten it. My advice here would be to look long-term, so definitely do a lot of research beforehand so you don't end up having to change later on. The next thing I got was a camera. I actually got a vlogging camera to take to Vietnam. When I got to Vietnam to vlog with my camera, every time I would turn the camera on, it would open the lens up, and the entire thing would just fog up completely. But yeah, big fail on my end. Anyways, back to what we were talking about. The camera I bought was the Canon G7X III, and it's a good vlogging camera, but the only problem is it has no interchangeable lenses on it. And when you're filming watches, you need different lenses. Some for filming yourself, some for filming the watches, specifically macro lens. And that leads me into the lenses. I don't have any lenses because I can't interchange it on the G7X III. So I'm thinking about upgrading to the Sony A7C or the Sony A7S III. And if you know anything about those cameras, could you leave it down below in the comments and let me know? Because I'm really undecided. I don't know if I want to spend the extra couple $1,000s for the A7S III, or I should just get the A7C. And I'm sure if you're getting started, an iPhone will work just perfectly and you won't have any issues with it. One pro about this Canon G7X III that I have is it has a foldable screen. Because it's a vlogging camera, usually you want to see yourself. But it's really nice when I'm filming because then I can see what I look like and I can make sure I don't look bad. It's a very small screen, so sometimes I'll oh, I look so great, the lighting looks great. And then when I'm editing the video, I have like a booger in my nose, like the entire video. When it comes to taking photos of the watches, I would just hold the camera above them and take the pictures with my vlogging camera. I would never really use my iPhone. You definitely could though. iPhones take really good photos. I'll put some photos up here that are of using my phone versus using my camera. But the problem I would find is my hands would shake a ton when I'm taking the photos, which would lead to motion blur. And so that leads me into my next thing I ended up getting, which was a tripod and a boom arm stand. So first I got a tripod for like wrist shots. I'll show some of those up here. And then I also got this boom arm stand because it was supposed to go over and give me the nice top down parallel shots. But the problem was I had to attach it to a desk. And so my recommendation here is if you need to get a boom arm, get the ones on the stand. My dumbass got the one with the arm, and then you have to attach it to your table, and then if it doesn't fit on your table because it doesn't have a ledge, it's just a whole big pain in the butt. Skip that, go with the stand. I don't have one yet, but that's what I'm going to be getting next. Keeping up with more camera equipment and camera related stuff, photography, you're going to need lighting for YouTube videos. So as you can see, I have some lighting coming in, and this is not artificial light. This is actually my window light. And so the way my bedroom's set up is I have one window with a decent amount of light coming in. And right now it's kind of cloudy outside, so I open the window to get more light. But whenever it's super sunny, I'll close the blinds so that way I don't get this harsh glare effect on me. When thinking about lighting, you really want one good light, and everyone always recommends to have it at a 45-degree angle. I actually have my desk set up at a 45-degree angle towards the window because I can't move the window obviously, and I don't have studio lights or anything. I'll put up a video of what it looks like when the light is behind you or versus when the light's in front of you. If you didn't know, you want the light to be in front of you, and then like I said, at that 45-degree angle. Next thing we gotta talk about is microphones. So another thing about the G7X III is it doesn't have a microphone jack, which is really weird. I don't know why it doesn't, but I ended up, well, let's start off with the first. When I first started making videos, my very first video was a no camera. It was just a voiceover, and I used a snowball microphone. Safe to say, snowball microphones aren't very good for YouTube videos. Would not recommend. The next video was shot on just my camera and the audio from my camera, and I would highly recommend upgrading to an external audio source, whether it be a microphone external right here, a lavalier mic, or like something on top of the camera. As you can see, I like having my microphone external right here. I'll show videos, but the wire is running over here and it's coming underneath me to go to my USB hub, which is something else we'll talk about. But it's recording straight into my computer, which is super cool. The next microphone I used was my lavalier microphone, and I'll put up a couple videos that I used it on. I have no idea if this worked. I needed an adapter, so I put the microphone jack into the adapter and the adapter into the camera, and I have no idea if it worked. Sorry. It came out with a bunch of inconsistent audio, and I would not recommend doing that. If your camera doesn't have a microphone jack, just skip it and go straight to external audio. Just don't waste your time with the external wires and the dongles and all that. It's not even worth it, If you're looking for good audio is way more important for the viewer from what I've heard and personal experience. If my audio is bad, you're a lot less likely to look at it or watch the video than to deal with poor quality video. There's something about audio that's just more important than video, and actually I know why. So I like to put YouTube videos on in the background whenever I'm doing something and just listen to them, and so I think that's why, whenever I'm watching a video, I can just let the audio play, and then I don't actually have to watch the video sometimes. But yeah, so audio is way more important, so I would heavily invest in audio and skip all the camera mics or like Snowball or something that's on the cam. Just go for an external mic. I think that you'll like it a lot more. Next up, I just want to talk about some of the adapters I had to use. So for my boom arm and the camera holding it, I needed this tiny little adapter. It was like 5/8 to 1/3 inch. That might be, I don't know. But the point is, I needed that little like screw on adapter. I'll show a video of it. And it was really frustrating. I don't know. Because the boom arm I used was meant for a microphone, so it had a microphone adapter and not a camera adapter. So if you are gonna get the little arm or the thing, just know you might need an adapter of some sort for that. Another adapter that you might need is, like I said, the lavalier mic, which I would just skip that. So ignore I even said that. It was so worthless, and I just go straight for the external audio. With adapters, you also might need a USB hub, and I'd highly recommend them. They're amazing. I have one USB hub for my Mac, and I had one for my desktop. The one for desktop was not very good. It just read the SD card, and that was it. This upgraded USB hub that I got, I'll make sure to show it off. It's got a ton of hubs. It's got a ton of ports. It has one for my hard drive, one for my microphone right now that I'm using, some for my SD card, and yeah, I use the one for my hard drive and my SD card. It's really nice having both, so I can take footage from one and put it to the other, and then I can use the hard drive for my editing software, so I don't have to edit on my internal storage. Which leads me to the next thing is get an external hard drive. If you're really taking this seriously, I recommend getting an external hard drive. Even if you're not, like, you don't want your computer to take the brunt of the work and have to have all that storage on it. And it'll just make it a lot easier to move stuff around, keep things safe, not have to worry about your computer running slower if you just have an external hard drive. The one I have is the T7 Shield from Samsung, and it works fine. I like it because it has this very smooth texture on the outside, and it's got ridges on it. It's supposed to be more shock resistant and waterproof, but I just thought it was really cool. I like slim, rectangular things. I really like this Kindle I have. It's really thin, and I'm getting off track. But the point is, definitely invest in a hard drive to externally edit. It's super important, and it'll help you out in the long run. And that's really what my setup is about. I mean, it is a beginner setup, but this setup is about setting myself up for the long run. I want to keep doing YouTube videos. I'm not even sure if it's going to be watches or what it would be, but I just like making content. It's really fun. Right now it's interesting. I'm learning new stuff all the time, and so yeah. Another thing for lighting is a lamp. So I like to have a lamp in the background. Sometimes you've seen the red bulb on. I use the red bulb to fall asleep. If you heard Red Bull, I meant red bulb. Red bulb. The red light. It's supposed to help release melatonin when you sleep, so that's why I have it. But sometimes I use that to kind of give my video some color. I don't know if that's aesthetically pleasing to other people. I can't tell. So let me know what you think. Adding some color. I know people use LEDs in the back. It's really popular in pretty much in any YouTube space. They'll have like certain LEDs. Teal and blue look really well together. I just don't have any LEDs, so I had to use what I had. That's kind of the gist of becoming a beginner YouTuber and having a beginner setup, is just using what you have. I know I've invested a lot of money into gear setup and stuff, but if you're just starting out, don't be afraid to use what you have. Use your phone. Use the microphone on your phone. Use props that you have around the house. Don't be afraid of that. I mean, most people won't watch your first 50 videos anyways. If you can just get in the habit of using what you have, you'll save a lot of money in the process. And that goes for anything. I'm just being really like advice, Master Oogway, Uncle Iroh kind of guy right now. So hopefully I can give you some advice that helps you, and it helped me. So the next section, let's just talk about watch specific stuff you might need. Starting off, you might need a lens, and specifically a macro lens. In photography for watches, macro lenses are really important. You'll see almost all the big creators have them. Jenny L's got really good macro shots. Watchfinder is amazing for macro shots. You also need like small little tools that will kind of help add your validity and just overall knowledge. So for example, I have here with me, this is called a watch caliper, if I'm correct. It's a measuring tool, and it's in millimeters. It's digital, which I really like, so I don't have to read the little tiny numbers. Just tells me. But yeah, stuff like this is super handy. I also have these watch pillows and a watch case. I don't have the watch case with me, but the pillows are really handy for propping watches up. and just overall storing them so they don't get damaged, because damaged watches on film just don't look very good, and so it's super important to have a safe way of storing them. Another thing I don't have here with me right now, but paper towels. You know, you just stick a paper towel in your watch box and it'll absorb all the moisture. I keep a lot of vintage watches, and so, you know, there is a risk of water damage, and I have had, unfortunately, like a crystal would fog up because I took a watch out in the rain. So the paper towel is just kind of an extra security measure. It's not necessary, but it's just a watch specific thing. Another thing you will need probably are these little watch tools. This one is a spring bar tool specifically. It has the little prongs on it to unlatch spring bars. It's been super helpful. Whenever I'm taking photos of watches, I like to switch out the straps and try to match the strap with props that are in the photo. And so this is super important. Ooh, props are also important. You definitely need props. But the good thing is you can just kind of add to your collection of props over time, and you probably have a lot of stuff in your house that'll count as props right now. So yeah, you don't really have to worry about that. But I guess that's not really watch specific. Any like photography, usually you have props. So now we're gonna get into what I do in order to actually make the video, like from start to finish. So I just made this video and I'll just tell you what I did. I got on my computer and I wrote out a script. So I wrote out bullet points, I wrote intro, hook, thumbnail idea, title idea. Another thing is always make your thumbnails and titles first. That's what I've heard. I'll plan that out. I'll plan out the main body, the conclusion, any other things I'm thinking about. And then I'll type in bullet points that I want to talk about, just like this. I talked about cameras, lenses, all that. Like, I'll talk about main bullet points. I won't script it out word for word because I feel like it comes off kind of robotic. And it's also really hard to do. Like, just to read a script and make it sound good, it's easier just to talk from, I was about to say talk from the heart, but I guess it's more like talk from whatever comes off the dome, right? After I'm done planning it out, I will then go into my room, set up my camera. It's already set up usually, unless I was using it for something else, but I'll set up my camera. What is really nice about my camera, it has that flip out screen so I can see what I look like when I'm filming. And then I'll set up my microphone. I pull it over here, and then I have to get on my computer, plug everything in, and I open QuickTime Player and I start a new audio recording. And at the same time as I start a new audio recording, then I click record on my camera, and then so I can have them going at the same time. And then I just film my video. I have my computer in front of me. I know you can't see it, but it's like right here. Sometimes before I even do the B-roll, I'll go straight into editing. So I'll take the SD card out of my camera, I'll put it into my USB hub, and then I'll go straight into putting it into Final Cut Pro and just trimming it down. And what's great about this is Final Cut Pro has markers. So as I'm trimming down the video, I can put markers where I want to have B-roll at. And so it kind of reminds me, oh, this is what I need to get for B-roll. So sometimes I'll edit before then, and so I can do my B-roll afterwards. After that, I'm editing the video, and I just keep doing that over and over until it looks pleasable to me. And then I will upload it onto YouTube. I'll, upload my thumbnail, put in my title, finalize everything. And then I'll schedule it for this channel. I post every 2 weeks on Sunday at 8:30. But I've actually looked at analytics, and it shows that more viewers are on during the week that watch my channel. So I might actually move my upload time. And that's another thing. That's a whole can of worms to talk about. Just analytics and YouTube analytics. And oh my God, I don't understand any of it yet. It's so much, but it's so important. So I'm going to be learning about that, which is super exciting. There's a lot more that goes into it that isn't just setup and gear and all that. But hopefully you learned something from this video, and maybe you start something too. So I'd love to grow together, and if that's what you're into, that's awesome. And if you just watch this because you're supporting the channel, thank you too. If you want to see me actually make a video, then check out my playlist right here. These are all videos made with my setup. This microphone is fairly recent, so whatever video you choose might not have the microphone. But yeah, just, if you like what you see, consider hitting the subscribe button, and I'll see you over there.